What is the difference between self-realization and Samadhi? Not everybody who can attain Samadhi is self-realized, and not everybody who is self-realized can claim to be in a state of Samadhi. There are a lot of good people on this planet, in our world, who are self-realized. They don't hurt other people, they don't harm anybody, they may or may not have faith, yet they lead a meaningful life. That's self-realization, realizing that you have a precious life which is not easy to come by, and making meaning from this life, meaning not in terms of intellectual meaning, but leading this life in a way that somehow helps others as well. Somebody asked me this question once, that what is really enlightenment, or what is self-realization? In my view, it is like a state of being naked, when you are, all the covers, all the layers are off, and you are who you are for everybody, and you stop pretending to be a certain way. The need, the urge to show off to the world, to be somebody, disappears, because you realize that yourself, it's infinite. It doesn't have to do any catching up with anybody. It's not in any race with anybody. And that really is self-realization. Sthit pragyas ka bhashas madhistasya keshva. Sthit dhir kim prabhashet kim asit prajet kim. Arjuna says to Krishna, what kind of person is sthit pragya? That one whose wisdom, whose intellect is firmly established, situated, or one who can lead a life with equanimity. What kind of person is that, and what is Samadhi? And who's Samadhist? Prajati yada kaman sarvan parth manogatan atmanev atmana tishta sthit pragyas tatucchate. Bhagavan says, your soul, yourself, your real you is an ocean. It's an infinite, bottomless, vast, giant, magnificent, magnanimous, marvelous ocean. And the one who can delve deep in that ocean and is content to stay situated, established in that ocean of bliss, such a person is Samadhist. When we talk about Samadhi, if you mean the yogic concept of Samadhi, the one that Patanjali talks about, then that means Samadhi is something where you can sit in one posture for as long as you want and rise above your body consciousness. That's the yogic definition of Samadhi. Everything else is not Samadhi in the eyes of a yogi. But like I said, there is Bhav Samadhi, Gyan Samadhi, Samadhi. And from that perspective, if we look at Lord Krishna's definition, then Samadhi is something which is a state of mind where you are not affected by what goes around you. Yathadipo nevataste negate sukma smrita yogino yat chittasya yunjate yogam atmana. Just like the flame of a lamp does not flicker in a place devoid of wind, similarly, the mind of a yogi is single-pointed. It does not flicker by the adversities of life, or the challenges of life, or from what a yogi decides to do. It stays, it's still, and that stillness is Samadhi. Do our thoughts, negative or positive, get counted as our karma? Basically, that's the question. How do you define karma? Thoughts are not karma. Because if thoughts were karma, then you have no control over your negative or positive thoughts. Even a sinner has very saintly thoughts, and even a saint has very sinful thoughts. Nobody is outside the grip of thoughts. Natadasti prithibhyam vadivi deveshu vahpuna sattvam prakriti rajaya muktam yudevi syatra virguna. Okantai, whether you're a god, or you're a human being, or you're anybody in between, nobody is outside the grip of three modes of material nature, sattva, rajas and tamas. When your sattva, your mode of goodness is on, you will have good thoughts. When your mode of passion is on, you'll have passionate thoughts. When your mode of ignorance is on, you'll have terrible thoughts. Having a thought is not a problem. But when you pursue that thought, at that moment you are doing what's called mental karma. That mental karma, it's a karma in its own right. Nahi devrita shaktam tattum karmana sheshata. That's what Krishna means when he says, Yastu karaphala tyagisa tyagita vidyate. Nobody can say, I don't do any karma, because it's not possible to renounce your karma. At any point in time, either with your mind, or with your speech, or with your senses, or limbs, or body, you're constantly doing one karma or the other. But the one who renounces the fruit of karma, attachment to karma in fact, he's not doing karma. He is a Shrestha, Krishna says, is a top-notch sannyasi or yogi. So when you are not pursuing a thought, and here's a very subtle point for you, nugget of wisdom, if you will. When you are not pursuing that thought, at that time you're not attached to your thought. If you're not attached to your thought, you won't pursue that thought. And what do I mean by pursuit of a thought? Imagine you're sitting here and you think of something very nice. Let's say, I don't know, sticky date pudding. And immediately you're thinking about that pudding, and you're thinking about a nice place where you sat and you could have had that pudding, and how nice the seating arrangement was, the very nice ambience, and the service was awesome, and you had very nice cappuccino with it, and so on and so forth. And from that pudding, now you're at a different place altogether. Had you not been attached to the thought, pudding would drop right there. Somebody else will eat it. You don't have to bother with it. And that's what I mean when I say to be detached from a karma. So, if you are doing it with detachment, then karmas will not bind you. Najama tani karmani nivadhananti dhananjaya udasino sattam teshu karmasu. Karmas don't tie me down, Kante, because I do them with a sense of detachment. Yasya naham krito bhava buddhir yasya na liptate. Hatvaika samalokan hanti na nibaddhate. A person who does it with absolute detachment cannot be bound by the laws of karma, because if such a person could be, then think about it, then there is no exit for anybody. But there is always an exit. It doesn't matter where you are. If you're a Abhimanyu, maybe you don't know how to come out of the Chakravyuh. Maybe you don't know how to come out of that formation. But if you are Drona, or if you are Karna, or if you're Arjun, then you know how to come out. So entry into anything is very easy. To enter into any karma is very easy. It's exit that determines everything. And that is possible with mindfulness.